Brian here for WikiGameGuides.com, and this is Abyss Odyssey. So what is it? Well, first of all, it's one of the most generically named video games of all time. Second, it fits into way too many genres. It's roguelike. Every level of this game is different. It's a brawler. You fight multiple enemies at the same time. It's cooperative. Well, it can be, if you want it to be locally and online. It's a dungeon crawler. You move from one floor to the next, searching for loot, money, upgrades. It's a fighting game. It's got fighting game mechanics, such as canceling, and jumps, and throws, and blocking, and parrying. It's also got RPG elements, leveling up, going through, getting XP. It's got way too many things going on at once. It's the type of game, you start off in your hub world, you drop down into a hole, make your way down towards the bottom, fight the boss, do it over again. So what's good about this game? Well, let's first start with how good this game looks. I mean, look at it. No, seriously, look at it. This is one of the better looking games I've seen in a very, very long time. The art style and direction of this game is fantastic. Not only that, it's got co-op, which is great. Not only is it co-op locally, but it's co-op online, even on the PC version. Also, there's more than one character. I only unlocked 2 of them while I was playing, my favorite being the Warlock, who's the heavy hitter. But it's one of those games where you can play through over and over again with the roguelike elements, but you can go through it with multiple characters, which is cool. Also, when you die, you can then play as a soldier and then try and get to one of these locations where you can revive your main character. You can also capture monsters and play as them. This adds in added elements where you try and do health management. It also keeps the game from being way too difficult, where you might make your way down about 7 floors just to die. Instead of having to start all over again, you can then try and find an altar to revive your character. It keeps the game from being cheaply hard. And for a gamer like myself that doesn't have a lot of time, it's nice that games aren't completely always out to kill me all the time. There's also multiple paths down to the bottom. There's 3 entrances to the Abyss you can go through. An easy way, a medium way, and a hard way. The hard way is the shortest path, but of course has the most dangerous floors, and the longest route has the easiest floors. They all make their way down to the bottom, and you can switch between them on certain levels on the way down. But it's interesting that they made those alternate paths. So what's bad about Abyss Odyssey? Well, first of all, it's grindy. Because this game has the RPG elements of leveling up, from the moment you drop down into the Abyss the first time, this game is a grind. You have to get XP, that means that you might drop down into the Abyss about 5 times before you finally make it down to the Warlock at the bottom. You'll spend multiple times trying to get to him, leveling up, trying to get better gear before you finally make it. Also, the game seems a little bit too stiff. It makes some of the fighting and a lot of the platforming way tougher than it needs to be. This game looks fluid in motion, but it often seems like there's a little bit of an input lag. Also, when you're fighting, if you whiff, you will get punished, much like a fighting game, but this game tries to be a brawler, and it doesn't seem like it has enough of it. It's not a great fighting game like an old Streets of Rage or Castle Crashers, where if it was, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. Also, the game doesn't really do enough to explain itself. I played the game for a while, and I don't know how to unlock the 3rd character. I'll probably never play as her again. Also, why on some floors are you suddenly playing as the monster? The game doesn't really explain these things. Also, there's a mechanic built in that you can only find through the Steam forums, where when the Warlock is beat enough, the mask that you see on the main title screen and also through the levels will eventually shatter, which will make new content appear. Well, hopefully, anyway, that's the plan, but this isn't really explained throughout the game. And because this is a roguelike, that means that the floors are procedurally generated, nothing is the same. But while they look different, you might have a level that looks like it's in a forest or a level that looks like it's ice. They don't really feel different. They have pits, some of them you have to jump over stuff before you'll fall in, some of them have icicles hanging from the ceiling, some of them have vines shooting up from the ground, but they're basically the same. I didn't find myself ever saying, oh, okay, cool, here's an ice level. It was, okay, here's another level, except this level has ice on it. And there is a versus mode, but the versus mode is only offline, which will only really serve the console community, which doesn't really do well on the PC if you're going to have 4 people playing on one system. So overall, Abyss Odyssey isn't really a great game. It's fun. I did enjoy my time with it, but it has way too many things going against it. It tried to do way too much instead of focusing on a couple key things and getting them right. This game gets a 3 out of 5 from me. Abyss Odyssey is a game that some of you should try out. It may find lasting appeal with some of you, just not with me. Game on.